Each planet its own retrograde. However, Mercury's has gained particular attention over the past decade or so. Planets move from east to west around the Sun, and when Mercury turns to move from west to east instead, that is when Mercury is in retrograde. Because the speeds of each planet varies greatly, at times visible from Earth, the planets in our solar system appear to be moving backward. Retrograde means simply directed or moving backwards. But Mercury doesn't actually move backwards. Mercury appears to move backward from the point of view of the Earth, just as the ancient astrologers perceived thousands of years ago. Mercury retrograde was being written about in astrology circles as far back as the mid-18th century. The event was noted in British agricultural almanacs of the time, which farmers would read to sync their planting schedules to the patterns of the stars. Because Mercury is the planet situated closest to the Sun, its orbit is much shorter than Earth's. About 3 or 4 times a year, Mercury speeds past the Earth, and this is when we experience a retrograde period. A year on Mercury is shorter than a year on Earth, 88 Earth days compared to our 365, which means Mercury experiences 4 years in the time it takes us to finish one solar loop. Mercury retrograde occurs when the planet is orbiting at its furthest point away from the Sun, when the planet's orbit slows down and the Earth continues to move at the same speed. During this time, it appears that Mercury is moving back in the opposite direction. The phenomenon can be compared to when you're driving on a highway past another car. If you're going fast enough, it can look like the car next to you is moving backward. The same thing happens when our planet passes Mercury in our orbit around the Sun. Mercury is just moving slower than Earth, causing the illusion that it is moving in retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde 3 times a year, and the illusion lasts for around 3 weeks. Illusion or not, astrologers believe that during this time it has an effect on life here on Earth, specifically in the realms of communication and technology. Mercury, or the Latin Mercurius, in Roman religion is the god of shopkeepers and merchants, travellers and transporters of goods, and thieves and tricksters. He is commonly identified with the Greek Hermes, the fleet-footed messenger of the gods, and in the same way, Mercury served as a mediator between the gods in Roman mythology. It was Mercury who was sent to remind the Trojan Aeneas to leave his beloved Queen Dido and Carthage and achieve his destiny to be found in Rome. And in Roman mythology, it is Mercury who escorted the young Proserpina, daughter of Ceres, to the underworld to be with Pluto, the Greek Hades. His winged feet give him the advantage of speed. Mercury rules all types of communication, including listening, speaking, learning, reading, editing, researching, negotiating, selling and buying. Mercury also rules all form of contracts and agreements, as well as important documents, such as book manuscripts or term papers, agreements, deeds, contract leases, wills, and so on. This mythology is a contributing factor to our understanding of the effects that Mercury stationing retrograde has upon us. Mercury retrograde is said to lead communication-related events and actions to become rather unstable, resulting in all kinds of consequences, such as difficulty communicating with colleagues and loved ones as effectively, not being able to think straight or organize your thoughts, and a sudden loss of focus. Mercury retrograde is blamed for affecting technology, emotions, communication, business deals, and travel. In our technology-focused society, where emails, texts, and reliable Wi-Fi are everything, the planet of communication has become quite a big deal. During the retrograde, astrologers will warn you to not buy a new phone, computer, or car. They will warn you to take extra care with your electronics and to double-check flight times, not to sign any business deals, and avoid relationship-defining conversations. Mercury retrograde is also reported to cause falling outs with friends, misunderstandings, anxiety, headaches, depression, tiredness, even insomnia, migraines, and general chaos. Tarot card readers and mediums report getting showered with relationship breakup reading requests during Mercury retrograde. Some people are so concerned by this period that there is a website, ismercuryinretrograde.com, dedicated simply to telling people whether Mercury is in retrograde or not. However you perceive Mercury retrograde, I do believe this is an excellent time to take a breather and recalibrate. The world isn't ending every time Mercury retrogrades, or any other planet for that matter, and whether you believe in astrology or not, the lessons you can learn from this astronomical time can be useful. Use this as a time to reevaluate life up to the point of the retrograde, and use it as a period of pause to hold off any life-changing decisions. When we see a planet go retrograde, we should look at that as a meaning that there is some kind of inner review taking place, an opportunity to revise, edit, and then push on.